The keycard beeps as I swipe into my garage after 3 days helping my sister move in Denver. The familiar click should feel like coming home. But the stack of bright orange violation notices spilling across my welcome mat turns my stomach. Lawn height exceeded by 0.3 inches. Bird feeder mounted 2.1 inches too high from approved zone. American flag displayed longer than the 3-day holiday allowance. Welcome back to Evergreen Meadows, where perfection isn't optional. It's enforced by Karen Delaney herself. I drop my overnight bag, the same one still stuffed with unwashed clothes from the weekend chaos, and head straight for the kitchen. The kettle whistles its usual comforting note while I pull up the banking app on my phone. Just a quick balance check before I collapse into bed. The blue loading circle spins. My favorite mug, the one with the faded Colorado mountains, slips from my fingers and shatters on the tile. Hot tea burns my bare feet, but I don't feel it. 67.42. Yesterday, it was $11,432.89. The number doesn't change no matter how many times I blink. My hands shake as I dial Mountain Vista Bank. The automated voice drones on like a bad HOA meeting. Press 1 for English. Press 2 for fraud. Each option stretches eternity while my mind races through every petty fine I paid without complaint. Every special assessment I covered because I was the good neighbor who never argued. Thank you for calling. This is Patricia. Account number. I recite everything from memory. Voice tight. Patricia's tone stays clinically calm. I see several large transfers initiated in the past 48 hours. All originated from a device registered to the community center Wi-Fi during your neighborhood's annual block party. The room tilts. Community center. Block party. A memory slams in. Karen Delaney's son hovering near my purse on the picnic table, laughing about being the official photographer while I was distracted by Karen's 30-minute speech on preserving property values for the children. My phone had been left out in plain sight because she'd sweetly asked, could we borrow it for the group directory update? Dear, yours is already linked to the HOA portal. Patricia keeps reading. Largest transfer, $5,000 to Karen Delaney. Then $3,200 and $2,800 to her daughter's private school account. The tea cools and puddles around the shattered mug. My own neighborhood president. The woman who smiles at every meeting and calls herself just looking out for us all. They stole from me. My nails bite crescents into my palms. Through the window, the identical beige houses glow under streetlights. Families inside, living their normal lives while mine implodes. I hang up mid-sentence. Keys still warm in my pocket. The drive back to Evergreen Meadows is only 20 minutes. But every mile marker feels like a countdown to something I can't undo. I was always the one who paid extra for the 4th of July banners when the budget was short. The one who covered the community pool repair because you're single. Dana, you don't have kids to worry about. The one who bit my tongue every time Karen cited Chapter 47 subsection B about my curtains being the wrong shade of neutral beige. By midnight, I'm parked across from the community center instead of my house. The lights are off, but the memory of Karen's pearl-clutching smile while she passed around the raffle clipboard burns behind my eyes. I don't knock on her door. Not yet. Instead, I check into the cheap motel on the edge of town. Room 219. Beige walls and floral curtains that somehow still scream HOA approved. My laptop glows harsh in the dark. The spreadsheet fills the screen cell by cell. Green for the voluntary donations I made to keep the peace. Yellow for every fine I paid without appeal. Red for everything else. So much red. February 2022, $2,500 emergency roof fund that somehow became Karen's new deck. March 2023, $1,800 for the children's scholarship that went straight to her daughter's tuition. June last year, my Prod Trip fund drained for the community beautification project that never happened. The total glows at the bottom. $23,467.82. Tears blur the screen, not sadness. Pure molten rage that makes my fingers curl. All those extra freelance gigs. All those skipped vacations. All those dreams deferred while I played ATM for the neighborhood that claimed to be family. A Facebook notification pings. Karen's profile fills the screen, her smiling face reflected in the glossy surface of a brand new outdoor kitchen. Posted 3 days after the last special assessment. Caption: sometimes you just have to treat yourself after all that hard work for the community. Blessed. My stomach lurches. I click through to her daughter's profile next. Mirror selfie with a new designer bag. Early birthday present to myself. Timestamped exactly 72 hours after I covered the pool chemicals because the budget was mysteriously short again. The rabbit hole goes deeper. Instagram stories of Cancun trips planned the same week they claimed the playground fund was empty. Amazon wish lists full of luxury patio furniture while flyers begged for neighborly contributions. Years of evidence hiding in plain sight while I was too busy being the compliant resident to see it. A soft knock at the motel door makes me jump. It's 4 a.m. It has to be them. They found me. I press my eye to the peephole. Sophie, 17, the quiet girl from 2 houses down, stands alone in the hallway, arms wrapped around herself, looking smaller than her years. The chain lock scrapes as I open the door. Dana, I saw what they did. The words tumble out in a rush. At the block party, Karen's son grabbed your phone when you were helping set up the tables. He thought it was funny, showed his mom how easy it was to log into the banking app you'd left open for the HOA portal. They've been doing it for years, taking whatever they want because you're single and don't have anyone to fight for you. That's what Karen always says. Something sharp twists in my chest. They told her that? Sophie nods, tears spilling. It's not right. What they did is stealing. And I can't pretend anymore. I pull her into a hug as she starts to sob. Suddenly, she's the kid I used to watch ride her bike while Karen screamed about wool marks on the sidewalk. This isn't about you, I whisper. None of this is your fault. And no matter what happens with Karen and the board, I will always be here for you. Sophie pulls back, wiping her eyes. There's more. I recorded her bragging about it on her phone when she thought no one was listening. I want to go with you to the police. The words hang between us. Part of me wants to protect her from choosing sides, from the fallout. But I look in her eyes and see the same steel I finally found in myself. She's not choosing sides. She's choosing the truth. An hour later, we sit across from Officer Martinez at the Financial Crimes Unit. Her dark eyes scan the spreadsheet, lingering on each highlighted transaction. Every few seconds, her pen scratches another note. And you have documentation? I nod, sliding over the USB drive, bank statements, text messages from Karen demanding more donations, social media posts showing exactly where the money went. Sophie adds quietly, I'll watch the whole thing. I can verify the phone access. Officer Martinez's expression grows grave. Words like unauthorized access, identity theft, and financial exploitation fill the air. Each one makes the nightmare more real. My hand trembles as I sign the formal complaint. They're still my neighbors. I whisper more to myself than anyone. The officer's voice is gentle but firm. Sometimes the kindest thing we can do for a community is hold them accountable. The pen feels heavy, each letter a door, closing on the old Dana who smiled through every fine. But as I place the final period, something else rises, something that feels like freedom. My hand isn't shaking anymore. 2 weeks later, the morning sun streams through my kitchen windows, painting golden rectangles on the floor. My phone buzzes, Karen's third call in 20 minutes. The voicemail notification pops up. I press play, holding the phone away as her syrupy voice fills the room. Dana Thompson, what have you done? The police are questioning the board. You're destroying the community we all worked so hard to build. Call me back right now. Delete. Another buzz. Your actions are hurting property values. We raised this neighborhood better than this. You're breaking everyone's heart. Delete. Sophie keeps crying. She needs the neighborhood she grew up in. Stop being selfish and fix this. Delete. Not one message contains, "I'm sorry." Just blame wrapped in guilt tied with community spirit. My freelance design presentation sits open on the laptop, cursor blinking on slide 23. The quarterly client review starts in an hour. Later that day, my coworker Sarah leans against my office door frame. "You seem different lately." I save the slide. I finally set some boundaries. My phone vibrates. Karen's name flashes. Delete. The email notification catches my eye. Administrative investigation pending. Karen Delaney. I close it without reading further. A text from the board. We received a foreclosure warning on community projects. If you don't step in, we will lose everything. My thumb hovers. 3 years ago, I would have already called my bank. 2 months ago, I would have spent hours calculating how to split my next check. I silence the phone. That evening, the hallway light flickers as I approach my door. A familiar figure leans against the wall. Karen herself. Designer handbag clutched like a shield. The same bag she bought 3 days after the last emergency assessment. "How could you?" Her voice cracks theatrically. Sophie cries herself to sleep every night. "Is that what you wanted?" The grocery bags crinkle in my grip. Frozen peas press cold against my palm. The money was for my future, not your deck. Karen steps closer, finger jabbing the air. "You think you're better than the rest of us just because you have a little savings? Look at you in your perfect house judging everyone else for struggling." A laugh bubbles up, sharp and surprising. "Struggling? You spent $3,000 at the spa the same week you told everyone the playground fund was empty. That's different." I deserve no, the word rings against the walls. Simple. Final. I just finally realized my worth. Karen's mouth opens and closes. Her eyes narrow to familiar slits. The same expression she wore when she fined me for my flag being up 4 days. "Fine. Don't come crying when you're the only one left without neighborhood support. We're done. We were done the moment you chose a new patio over every resident's trust." My key slides into the lock. The door closes behind me with a soft click that echoes like thunder. Evening light paints my walls in amber and rose. The classical playlist I never had time to enjoy fills the space with piano notes dancing between shadow and sunshine. For the first time in years, I don't check my bank balance before dinner. No mental calculations of how many paychecks until the next special assessment. My shoulders drop. Muscles I didn't know were clenched begin to unwind. The sketchbook sits on my coffee table, no longer buried under violation notices. Charcoal smudges my fingers as I open to a fresh page. The Prague travel photo watches from its frame. The dream I photoshopped into existence 5 years ago before I gave up the trip to pay for the community pool chemicals. My laptop chimes. An email from the district attorney. Prosecution proceeding. Karen's attorney claims the transfers were gifts for the community. I open my filing cabinet, pulling out the folder labeled HOA Contributions 2020 to 2024. I have their text messages. I tell my lawyer over speakerphone, spreading screenshots across the desk. Every demand, every broken promise, every lie. Sophie's ringtone, her favorite pop song, interrupts. Karen told everyone this is all your fault. Her voice sounds small. If I hadn't told you what I saw, none of this. This is about choices adults made, I say, pressing my palm against the window glass, watching city lights flicker as dusk settles. Adults who should have protected the neighborhood, not exploited it. The certified letter arrives the next morning, law firm letterhead. Threats of countersuit for defamation and emotional distress to the board. I dial my lawyer. My voice steady. I have everything documented. Every transaction. Every lie. Every broken promise. The truth stands firm. My hands don't shake as I hang up. The setting sun paints my walls in shades of possibility. I'm my own sanctuary now. The keycard beeps as I swipe into the courthouse parking garage. My charcoal pencil skirt and cream blouse feel like armor. The mirror in my visor reflects unfamiliar steadiness in my eyes. No trembling hands. Just clarity. A flash of movement. Karen and her bored cronies duck through the side entrance. Her designer handbag clashing with the bargain store dress she chose for court. The victim costume is obvious. Muted colors. Minimal makeup. Sensible shoes. Her Instagram from yesterday told a different story. Mirror selfie in her latest shopping haul. Miss Thompson, my lawyer Catherine meets me at security. Are you ready? The metal detector wand buzzes. More than ready. Courtroom, 3 smells of wood polish and anxiety. Karen huddles with her attorney. Heads bent as he gestures with growing frustration. The judge's bench looms empty. My mother, no. The neighborhood sits scattered in the back rows. All rise. Judge Wilson settles behind the bench, reading glasses perched low as he reviews the case summary. His fingers tap steadily against the stack of documented transfers. Catherine rises, opening statement precise as a scalpel. Your Honor, this case demonstrates a pattern of calculated financial exploitation spanning half a decade. The evidence unfolds like scenes from someone else's nightmare. Screenshots of Karen's new outdoor kitchen purchased 3 days after claiming the budget was empty. Text messages demanding money. You don't even have kids. What do you need it for? My spreadsheets tracking every borrowed dollar, every broken promise. Karen's face turns an interesting shade of purple when Catherine displays her social media post celebrating the new deck. That was from a community gift, she sputters. A gift that arrived exactly when Miss Thompson transferred funds for your claimed roof emergency. Catherine's voice could freeze lava. Perhaps you'd like to explain these timing coincidences to the judge. In the gallery, board members' hands twist in their laps. Their eyes dart like trapped animals. The wooden pew feels solid beneath me. I focus on its grain while Karen's messages echo through the speakers. Just loan us the money. You always have extra. Don't be so selfish. The neighborhood takes care of its own. Judge Wilson's expression grows stonier with each exhibit. His gavel cracks like thunder when Karen's attorney tries to interrupt. The evidence will speak for itself. The local paper's court reporter scribbles furiously. Small-town gossip travels fast. I spot 3 former neighbors in the gallery. Whispers fluttering. She turned on her own president, but they stole from her. Property values are thicker than rules. But theft is theft. The court finds in favor of the plaintiff. Judge Wilson's voice fills the chamber. Full restitution of $23,647.82 plus legal fees is ordered, payable in monthly installments of no less than $500 beginning within 30 days. Additionally, Karen Delaney is removed from her position as HOA president, and a restraining order barring any further access to residents' financial accounts is granted. The gavel falls. Karen bursts into theatrical sobs. Her board stares straight ahead, jaws clenched. I remain seated while they file past. Spine straight, eyes forward. Attempts to catch my gaze slide off like water. Karen lingers after the courtroom empties. Steps hesitant, hands twisting a tissue. Dana, not here. My voice comes out gentler than I expected. Not today. She nods, tears tracking silently. The tissue shreds flutter to the floor as she turns away. I watch her go, feeling an odd mixture of grief and relief. The door clicks shut with quiet finality. Catherine squeezes my shoulder. You did well. They can't wiggle out of this one. Outside, autumn sunlight paints the courthouse steps in gold. A breeze carries the scent of wood smoke. I breathe it in, filling my lungs with crisp air. My phone buzzes, a text from Sophie. Love you, Dana. You did the right thing. My fingers trace the edges of the case, remembering the weight of constant dread each time it chimed. Now notifications hold no power to steal my peace. I slip the phone into my purse and descend the steps, each footfall steady and sure. The mountains rise beautifully indifferent against the October sky. Their ancient peaks have witnessed countless neighborhood dramas, countless ties stretched and severed, and sometimes carefully rewoven. Time will tell which category my own story falls into. For now, I have my truth. I have my boundaries. I have my peace. The rest will sort itself out. Morning sun streams through floor-to-ceiling windows, painting golden stripes across my new apartment in the non-HOA neighborhood just outside Evergreen Meadows. The space feels different now, lived in, personal, mine. A wall of built-in shelves showcases design awards between dog-eared travel guides and watercolor supplies. My latest sketch of the Rockies hangs beside my desk, keeping company with a glossy photo of me grinning in front of Prague's Charles Bridge. The balcony beckons. Steam rises from my coffee mug as I settle into my morning ritual, bare feet propped on a railing. Patches of early snow dusting the mountaintops while a red-tailed hawk circles lazily overhead. My phone sits silent on the kitchen counter. No anxious checking. No calculated donations. No desperate text from the boring crisis. A year. Sometimes it feels like yesterday I discovered the betrayal. Other times it seems like another lifetime. My fingers no longer twitch toward the banking app every morning. The constant knot in my stomach has unwound, replaced by steady certainty I never knew was possible. My laptop chimes with an incoming video call. Sophie's face fills the screen, her college dorm room visible behind her. A psychology textbook lies open, sticky notes bristling. Dana, you'll never believe what we covered in class today. We're studying family systems theory, except Professor Chun called it neighborhood systems. Dysfunctional patterns persist across generations until someone finally breaks the cycle. That sounds familiar. I take another sip of coffee, letting the morning sun warm my face. How are your midterms? Good. Really good. I got an A on my developmental psych paper. She pauses, tucking hair behind her ear. And I wanted to thank you for the care package. Those stress relief teas and fuzzy socks were perfect. You always know exactly what I need without going overboard. The last part catches in my throat. A year ago, I would have emptied my savings for a new laptop, convinced love required grand financial gestures. Now I understand the power of small, thoughtful acts, care without enabling dependence. I'm proud of you, Soph, not just for the grades, but for how you're processing everything. She nods thoughtfully. Karen called again yesterday. She's still fighting the restitution payments, trying to figure out her next steps. She asked about you. My hands tighten around the mug, but the surge of anxiety I expect doesn't come. How are you handling that? Better than I used to. Therapy helps. And watching you set boundaries showed me it's okay to have my own. She glances off screen. Oh, shoot, class in 10. Love you. Dana. Love you too. Kiddo. Study hard. The screen goes dark, but I linger on the balcony, watching clouds cast shadows across the valley. Karen's latest letter sits unopened on my desk inside. The return address shows she's still in community mediation, a small step, unlike the rest of the board still in denial. She's at least pretending to understand her role. My phone buzzes with an email notification. Another message from someone who heard me speak at the community college last month about HOA boundaries. Your story gave me the courage to stop paying every fine without question. After your example, I finally said no. My neighbor isn't speaking to me, but I slept through the night for the first time in years. Thank you for showing I'm not alone. The words blur slightly. When I first moved here, I never imagined my experience would help others find their voice. The support group I started meets twice monthly now, sharing stories of financial exploitation and healing over coffee and homemade banana bread. Inside, I slide open my desk drawer and pull out a thick envelope from Mountain Vista Bank. The small business loan approval still feels surreal. Thompson HOA Boundaries Consulting LLC. The website mock-up on my second monitor bears the tagline I spent weeks perfecting. Peace begins with boundaries. My journal lies open beside the laptop. This morning's entry still drying. A year ago, I thought I was losing everything. I didn't understand that sometimes we have to lose what we thought we needed to find what we actually deserve. Every no I spoke became a yes to myself. The therapist's words from our last session echo. You've done the work. Dana, the guilt you carried wasn't yours to bear. A calendar alert pops up. Dinner tonight with Sarah from my hiking group and Marcus from the photography club. My chosen family built on mutual respect instead of obligation. The thought warms me more than any forced block party ever did. My gaze falls on the framed photo of Sophie and me at her college move-in day. Both of us laughing as we struggled with an oversized storage bin. One relationship salvaged and transformed. Proof that trust can survive truth. Sometimes it even grows stronger for it. I close my journal and stand, stretching in a shaft of sunlight. The mountain view fills my windows, a daily reminder of the perspective I've gained. Behind me, my phone stays quiet, no longer a source of dread. Ahead of me stretches a future unmarked by guilt or manipulation. Just possibilities, dreams, and the steady peace of knowing my worth. And somewhere in Evergreen Meadows, Karen Delaney now receives her own violation notices for the lawn she let grow wild while she was too busy fighting restitution. The irony writes itself. Saying no isn't cruel. It's self-protection. It's love for yourself. And sometimes it's the first step toward helping an entire neighborhood find its own voice in the dark.